There's a room in this remote Michigan inn that isn't really supposed to belong to the guests. It's room 16, and according to the stories, it's already occupied. You can stay there, but you have to specifically ask for it. They say it's already occupied by a woman named Nell, and she never stopped working. But while the ghost is a legend, the woman was real. How did a high-powered career woman become a cleaning ghost? And why is she still moving the furniture? In this episode of 99% True or Not, let's find out. Today, Nahma, Michigan is a quiet, wooded escape tucked along Big Bay de Noc on Lake Michigan in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. But a century ago, it was a loud industrial logging company town. The Bay de Noc Lumber Company owned everything. The homes, the boarding houses, the general store, and the Nahma Inn. It even had its own doctor and hospital for the workers. One of the most important people in this town wasn't a lumberjack. It was Nell Fleming, but forget the stories of kitchen maids dying of a broken heart. The real Nell was a pioneer. She was the personal secretary to the company president, Charles E. Good. She ran the stenography department. She was the township treasurer. She held the keys to the town. So why do guests claim she's now folding their laundry? The legend says Nell lived in room 16. The man she worked for 38 years, Charlie Good, was directly across the hall in room 17. Neither of them ever married. Local rumors say they were involved in a decades-long forbidden office romance. The story goes that when Charlie died, Nell was left with nothing but a broken heart and a window to watch for his return. But here's the first crack in the story. Nell didn't die at the inn waiting for Charlie. She moved to Minneapolis to live near her family and died there 4 years after him. She left Nahma while she was alive. Why would she come back after death? The answer might be in what's happening to the guests right now. This is not just creaky floorboards. One guest reported waking up feeling a crushing weight on his chest. He opened his eyes to see a woman in a high-collared dress sitting on the edge of his bed, staring at him. He couldn't move, he couldn't scream. Guests have reported returning to find furniture moved, objects rearranged, beds made, lights switching on and off. Some have reported footsteps in the hallway. Others have seen a woman's figure moving through the building. And then there's the story that gives Miss Nell her reputation as the inn's cleaning ghost. The story goes that she simply continues doing what she did in life, keeping things in order, moving things back where they belong, watching over the inn. A woman has been seen in the hallway and on the stairs. So has an old fisherman who disappears before your eyes.
Voice. The Nahma Inn may seem quaint and quiet, but stay at your own risk.
This event may have been Blair's first time investigating at the Nahma Inn. However, Warning has been here several times before and has gathered her own data.
Karen would like to stay in this room with you. Would you be okay with Karen staying in here? She likes pink too.
Disembodied footsteps, plenty of EVPs, and then there are the objects. Silverware slides across tables. Knives fly off magnetic strips in the kitchen. Missing cell phones end up in guests' closed suitcases. Guests have packed their suitcases, left the room, and returned to find them repacked. A group of 5 people playing euchre watched a drink fly off a table as if kicked by an invisible foot. The cleaning ghost isn't always tidy. Sometimes she's angry. But what if it's not just Nell? If you stay in room 1, a grumpy spirit might tell you to
get out.
In the basement, a former owner heard a beautiful, wordless lullaby drifting from the rafters. There's a 10-year-old girl seen wandering the halls, and a mysterious fisherman who vanishes when approached, and a conversation spoken in a Scandinavian language. The original Nahma Hotel, built in 1906, burned to the ground around 1909, and the Nahma Inn replaced it that same year. In 1921, the town almost vanished in a forest fire. Is the cleaning ghost actually Nell Fleming? Or is she a composite of all the women who fought to keep this hotel standing against the flames? So how does a real woman become a ghost story? When a guest experiences sleep paralysis, they need a name for what they saw. They look at the history, see the unmarried secretary, and say, "That was Nell. The bed moves? Nell? The lights flicker? Nell." We've turned a professional, independent woman into a domestic servant for eternity. There were other girls working as maids at the inn. According to sources, the sawmill workers preferred to stay at the inn as opposed to some of the boarding houses in town where bedbugs fell from the ceiling and the girls kept the inn clean. The Scandinavian-speaking entities could be residual hauntings of past tenants. It's been said Norwegian sailors stayed at the inn, or at the least visited the bar, and the coins that fall from nowhere onto the table, an old visitor at the bar paying his tab, perhaps. Employees and visitors have reported strange activity throughout the inn. Silverware has supposedly moved. Kitchen implements have been rearranged. Knives have reportedly come off magnetic strips. Plates and glasses have allegedly slid from tables. Footsteps have been heard when nobody was there. Conversations with no source. Then there's the staircase. Visitors have described seeing a woman's figure moving through the building. Sometimes she appears on the stairs, sometimes in a hallway, and sometimes she simply disappears.
Today I sat down with the ladies that run Upper Paranormal, a set of sisters out of Ishpeming that investigate paranormal activity across the Upper Peninsula. They invited me to the Nahma Inn, which has a reputation for being pretty haunted. Let's go see if it stands up to its reputation.
Not only do the spirits bring us back here though, it's the owners. When we first came here, they made us feel right at home. They were wonderful with us, they made us feel like family, and the employees also. So we just keep coming back because we feel very welcome, not only by them, but by what we find upstairs.
Like the rest of the Upper Peninsula, Nahma is deep-rooted with a rich history dating back to the late 1800s. Bay Denoke Lumber Company resided in the Nahma area from 1881 to 1951.
Nell is the resident haunt. She's the resident ghost. Every single time we come here, we experience something.
Carlson said rumor has it that Nell had an affair with a man named Charlie Good, whose spirit is also said to be roaming the halls of the second floor.
When we heard the stories, it was just that they said there's just spirits here. When we first came here, and then the owner, Charlie, had said, oh yeah, there's spirits here all the time. Nell's still here. Charlie Good is here. You know, sometimes things move, you'll hear things. So, we're really excited to stay here.
The duo have spent a week in the month at the inn for the last year, consistently catching high activity during their stay, capturing EVPs, and having items moved.
My phone disappeared off the nightstand, found it in my equipment case. We actually had a friend of ours who stayed here a couple weeks ago, and her EVP machine was moved from one side of the room to the other.
I'm laying there and I heard a woman laugh in our room. And I'm like, I hope I got that on EVP, because we always run a machine recording when we're sleeping, always. And we always run a video camera too. It's kind of weird to videotape yourself when you're sleeping, but you never know what you're going to get.
Employees of the inn have also experienced high activity while on the clock, ranging from apparitions and hearing people talking who weren't there, to knives being pulled off a magnet strip and coins falling from seemingly nowhere. But the women insist that there is nothing sinister about these spirits.
There is no malicious intent here. They're all nice, good spirits. You just like we have Grumpy one in room number 1.
The ladies always experience something while on a visit, but it's not always as blunt when the energy is relatively low, as it varies day to day dependent on events and activities at the inn.
We're the Upper Goddess, and Vic and I have made it to Nahma, and we are at the inn, and supposedly this place is haunted. And I know my daughter Tony is going to be so jealous because we are staying in the haunted room. Are you kidding me? They hear footsteps. They see a sailor who says looks like the Gordon fisherman. Are you kidding me? So I hope Vic and I get some activity tonight, which we might be able to see through the shadow, but it'll be fun. I can't wait. So we made it through the night, and actually we had the Nell experience. We were in bed last night and we did hear a noise in the bathroom, and we didn't get up and look, and we just looked at each other and were like, what was that? So we get up and the shampoo was in the sink, okay? Now this is how it was set up. This was up here behind the soap. Now I want to know how that could launch itself over the soap and into the sink, okay?
If you spend the night at the Nahma Inn, remember, if you stay there, you may wake up to find your suitcase packed and the window open, and a woman staring out the window. Just remember, you might have been the one who invited her in. Is this 99% true or not? You decide.